Ian Woods, a political analyst who has covered American politics for decades. Ian's woken up early for us and joins us from London. Ian, thank you so much indeed. Possibly you haven't been sleeping. What are your impressions over the past few hours?
Well, it does look as if that Joe Biden is going to be president, and I think that in different circumstances, I think that more networks would be ready to prepare their viewers for that and declare it. But in this current atmosphere where they have been critical, the media have been critical, and a lot of other, of course, politicians have been critical of Donald Trump coming out in the hours after the election count had begun, saying that he had declared victory, calling that premature. I don't think they are keen to be premature to call this race too soon, but it does appear that Joe Biden is certainly heading for that victory. The trouble is that Americans and the world has got used to this system over the years of results being declared before all the votes have been counted. And what is happening now with votes still being counted 24 hours, 48 hours, or even later after the polls have closed is not unusual. That has always happened because there always have been votes to be counted, which from mail-in ballots or whatever. It takes some time to do that. But usually we don't care. The spotlight has moved on, a result, a state has been declared, and everyone kind of accepts that result. When it's close, it's a different matter, and people are still counting. But people shouldn't think that anything unusual is going on. It's just been made more extreme this year because there are more mail-in votes being counted because of COVID, because the Democrats encouraged their supporters to vote like that, and because that is inevitably going to take more time. And in many cases, people said beforehand, let us count the votes early, let us count the votes before the polls have closed so that we've got a bit of a head start. Some states allow that. Florida did, and Florida was able to be one of the first confirmed results of this election, but other states have been more reluctant to do that, and sometimes the people who've been saying that that shouldn't happen are Republicans. Well, perhaps they might have wished for a different outcome now.
Ian, what do you think the Trump legal tactics are here? Are the tactics to actually secure a result through votes that have already been counted, or by getting some votes not to be counted, or there's a potential strategy to make sure that there's no clear winner by December the 8th, which is the deadline to actually have a state declare the official winner of the presidential election in that state? And if it doesn't happen by then, Congress can actually discount any electoral votes that belong to that state.
Well, the trouble is that from a justice system, from the court system, in terms of a judge looking at at what is being asked for here, the Trump is fighting on lots of different directions. At the moment, they are saying in Arizona, where they are behind, that the vote should be counted. Keep on counting the votes. We've seen protests in Phoenix by Trump supporters saying count the votes. Whereas across the state in Pennsylvania, where Trump had at one stage a lead of 700,000 votes, they're saying don't count the vote, stop the vote. So it's contradictory, and that weakens their legal position. But it seems to me that a lot of the court's action, in certain cases, electoral officials have described it as frivolous action. You can see why they're trying to do it. They want to try to muddy the waters. They do want to try to delegitimize the result if Joe Biden is going to win this election. I mean, going back to the Bush v. Gore election in 2000, I mean, George Bush, even though he was declared the victor and he was the president, he had this kind of stain of illegitimacy hanging over his first term because so many Democrats felt they had been cheated out of the election. Well, Joe Biden is going to spend his time as president with lots of Republicans saying, well, you know, there was dodgy dealings going on and you're not our legitimate president. So he's going to have to overcome that. The thing that I would say about Joe Biden's result is he will be delighted, of course, that he's got into the White House. But I think what the Democrats and their supporters were hoping for was a landslide victory to really show that Trumpism was dead. Well, Trumpism is going to be very much alive, even if Donald Trump is no longer in the White House, because he got 3 million, at least 3 million more votes this year than he did 4 years ago. So the dismissing of Trump as some kind of aberration, which a lot of the media have thought was the case, that he didn't really, he wasn't going to be able to repeat his victory, and certainly the polls were showing that. Well, the polls were wrong, frankly, and Donald Trump has got a huge base of support. It's not just a core support, it's a big support as well. And the fact that, as I say, he got more votes this year than last time shows that that people did approve of his presidency, despite all the controversies, despite his behaviour, despite his handling of COVID.
Ian, thank you so much indeed. And as I said, really appreciate you staying up late. 4:32 in the morning for you. Ian Woods in London.